things were not looking good because I wasn't a certain type. Wasn't born with super looks, a super body, or super anything. Everything had to be acquired through effort. The first 3 or 4 parts I ever got, I was always the villain. I went, but I don't feel that way. I was basically auditioning for another part as an actor. And as I was walking out the door, I had this afterthought. I said, by the way, I write a little bit. He went, yeah, sure. Well, if you ever have anything, bring it back. And if I hadn't said that at that moment, if he hadn't said, bring it back, that was, I went, my God, I really didn't have anything, but now I knew I had to write something quickly.
And in 3 or 4 days, he came back with Rocky.
You know, 90% of it wasn't very good, but the germ was there. That was, you know, the kernel of the idea, germ of the idea. If I was ever going to be understood, if I was going to ever write anything that kind of like would encompass my philosophies on life, I would have to do it. It's never going to come. It was never going to be in the mail. It was never going to be slid under my door. I would have to do it. I cut myself off in the world. I figured that the less distractions, the better. And that's when I sealed up my windows, and I found some black paint.
It's true. He did paint the windows in his apartment black, so he didn't know if it was day or night, and would sit and write for 18 hours at a time at my grandfather's old desk.
He didn't have someone mentoring him, telling him where to go to school and what to do. You know, he had to figure it out on his own. And I think when you do that, you get the real answers.
Are you going to spend all your time on one side, which is like partying and having, you know, everything which should come with youth, or do you want to like dedicate a certain number of hours a day? So this is it. It's like a self-imposed exile. The writing process is some people think it's very empowering, very noble, and I guess when you do succeed in turning a good phrase or accomplishing a scene, you know it. A writer will literally come out of his chair with excitement. I nailed it.
I knew it was a hit when I read the script.
He has this great ear for language.
Street prose.
A lot of people don't realize he wrote so much of that stuff.
Beautiful on the page. Absolutely beautiful on the page.
Everybody remembers seeing Rocky. When I first saw Rocky, I thought it was one of the greatest things I'd ever seen.
I can kind of remember where I was sitting. I was sort of sitting, the theater was packed. It was absolutely packed, and everybody had come to this movie, and I was sort of sitting in the middle section in the back on the left. I can still see where I was sitting because I remember at the end of the movie, literally people were standing up and cheering, and I'd never seen anything like that in the movie theater before.
I thought Rocky would be maybe successful underbilling in the drive-in for the summer of '76. I had no idea it was going to go on like this.
Rocky is now an Academy Award winner.